Tonight, partly clear with a low 32. Tomorrow, sunny with a high 55. Tomorrow night, becoming overcast with a low 30. Friday, overcast with a high 47. I'm William Mayo, KOFO News.
Stay tuned for the following special presentation from 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
KOFO, your sports source for East Central Kansas and radio home of Ottawa University Braves Athletics, welcomes you to this edition of Hoop Talk, our weekly chat with OU Braves head basketball coaches Tarnisha Scott and Aaron Siebenthal. You can join us live for Hoop Talk right now at Primetime Grill at Fusion Alley in South Ottawa. Hoop Talk is brought to you by Primetime Grill, Ottawa University, and KOFO. Now, here's your host for Hoop Talk, KOFO's Luke Queen.
And good evening and welcome out here to the Primetime Grill. Luke Queen with you here for Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. And joining me here in our opening segment tonight is Braves men's coach Aaron Siebenthal. Coach, how you doing this evening?
Doing all right, Luke. Thanks for having me.
Your belly get filled up over there? And
yeah, I had a little salad, kind of. I'm really figure here, so we'll see what happens.
all right. Well, we're going to start out. Played one game since we last talked last week and had a long weekend. Played 2 games in 2 weeks, and now you've got a week here where we've got 3 games in 6 days. Took a tough one yesterday against Southwestern College, or Monday, I guess, and looking to get kind of like they're getting healthy and playing maybe their best basketball is coming out right now, and kind of a tough one on Monday. What'd you see out of your guys that maybe we liked, things you could obviously coach, or work on in practice, stuff like that?
Yeah, if we would put the second half of the Oklahoma Wesleyan game with the first half of the Southwestern game, we'd be a pretty good basketball team. I thought we played really well defensively in the first half against Southwestern. We were on the same page. We were still down at half because they went on a late run there. But I thought we played really well in the first half, and it's just kind of been the story of our season. When we're playing well on the defensive end, we've struggled to score, and when we're scoring, we can't stop the other team from scoring. So, we just got to keep going to work every day, and we've made the halfway point of the conference season. So now it's kind of feel like our guys feel like it's a new day, and we're ready to go, and we're excited about that.
Well, and you've gone through that first half of the season, as you said, seen everybody now, and now it's time to turn it back over. I think it's kind of the way KCAC has been going for a while now, but it's still a little odd to me as I watched a lot of college basketball and throughout conferences. Most of them don't seem like you play the teams and then you play them in the exact same order. At least that's the way it's scheduled, obviously. So turn around here and you haven't seen Sterling in what feels like a long time since I remember being at the Fieldhouse watching that game. It was a big win, or I say a large margin of victory to open up conference play. They're struggling now. Had a rough game over the weekend, or on Monday. Got blown out pretty good by Oklahoma Wesleyan. Have they had any changes or anything, or are you just going to kind of expect to see the same and go out to Sterling and take care of what you need to take care of?
Yeah, they're playing a few more young kids. I mean, they're really young. I think of the 8 or 9 guys we have on our scout report, I think 6 or 7 are freshmen, and I'm pretty sure there's not a senior on the roster as far as who they're playing. So, they're a young team, and kind of like I told our guys in film today, Southwestern, they've struggled this year, but they're the underdogs. And, when you're the underdog, you don't have any pressure. So, they want to play fast. They want to jack a lot of threes, and they're at their place. So, to me, they're a scary team simply because, they can just let it fly and hope it goes in, and when teams kind of don't have that pressure, they're playing to play, they can be dangerous. They came into our place last year and beat us the regular season before, we got kind of revenge in the conference tournament. So, it's a long road trip. It'll be the longest one our guys have been on all year for sure. So, especially for, our new guys, it'll be an adjustment for them. But, I think if we do the things we want to do when we play Braves basketball, I think we'll like the outcome. But if we don't, then we let them hang around, then we're probably in for a dogfight.
Absolutely. One of the things, we always say about, when you see somebody keep losing, teams losing, they're down right now, playing a lot of young guys, they're struggling. A lot of freshmen make freshman mistakes, do those things. But then again, we talked about how it was the beginning of November when we saw them. And, a lot of maturity can take place in that amount of time, especially for freshmen that play a lot. And I'm sure you've gone back and watched them recently. Like you said, you watched film today on them. They are a scary team just in that respect that they have nothing to lose. And you guys are fighting for something here. You're still, in as far as where you're sitting seeding-wise for the conference tournament, you're in.
Right.
And the way the conference is kind of going right now, looking like a pretty, you just got to take care of your business and you're there. But this is a team that is going to have to win a lot of games in this next 11 to even have a chance, and everybody's got to help them out. So they're a real scary team for you.
They are, and the thing about freshmen is they make freshman mistakes, but they play hard. Young kids, they don't know better. They're not too cool to get in the stand. So freshmen play hard usually because they're scared to death. So he still got those guys playing hard, and I give him a lot of credit for hanging in there. But it's to the point where we got to worry about us. We got to be better. And I really feel like there's just kind of a breath of fresh air with our team. Just starting the second round of conference, we've talked about it as being a 12-game season. How good can we be in a 12-game season? And realistically, if we go 8-4, 9-3 in these 12 games, I think we have a really good shot at being in the top 4 and getting a home game for the conference tournament. But that's going to take some work, and we're going to have to beat some teams that have beat us already, and we can't just we're right in the middle of the pack as far as the conference seeding, and we've lost the teams above us and we've beat the teams below us, and obviously we can't do that again and expect to get a home game. So we're going to have to go beat some good teams on the road, and take care of business at home. But the last 2 days of practice have been good, just attitude-wise, just energy-wise. It's been pretty good. So hopefully we'll see good results on the court tomorrow night.
And absolutely, you've taken on, we talked about with tomorrow night being Sterling, then it's Tabor on Saturday, and then St. Mary next week to start things out. 3 teams that you took care of to open up things, and then, so we've got a few games here, that you've won,
right.
The first go around, and, including, we talked about it in our first show, was a win on the road against Tabor. So now you got them coming to your place on Saturday, so, want to kind of get it taken care of here. But 3 teams that you've beaten is anytime, you've got a large group of upperclassmen that have been around 2 or 3 years now, to know they can't overlook anybody, got to take care of business tomorrow, and then do the same thing on Saturday, and then again next week.
Yeah, for sure. Tabor's they're a talented group, and obviously I'm frustrated with our team and kind of how we've been performing, and I can imagine that Coach Ratcliffe at Tabor probably feels the same way, or even more so. They got some dudes, man. They got some guys that can go, and they're scary too, because if it basketball's weird. It takes 1 or 2 little good things going right for you, which we need to make some things go right for us. But 1 or 2 things go right for you, and things can just get clicking and get going, and just like bad things, missing shots, fumbling the ball out of bounds, turnovers are contagious. Making shots and good things happening for you are contagious too. So they're a scary bunch. They're coming to our place, which is always good for us. But we've got to we got to be ready for them. And you said we have St. Mary next week. I'll take your word for it. I have no idea who we play next week. Let's focus on the guys we got this week, and we'll worry about next week. So it sounds cliche, but I tell our guys, Sterling's a huge game for us because it's the next game, and that's really who what we got to focus on. And 12-game season, like I said, and we've got to set our goal realistically. I mean, if we go 8-4, 9-3, I like our shot. There's so many good teams. We've got, I think, 3 or 4 teams receiving votes, and then obviously Oklahoma Wesley is the top 5 in the nation. There's so many good teams in our league at the top, so they're going to beat up on each other. They got to play each other, another time as well. So, we're going to get some help that way, just the sheer math. So, we just kind of get playing at the right time and get hot. And I think if we're playing well and we're clicking on all cylinders, I think nobody wants to see us matched up with them in the conference tournament. But if we're not, then I think it's just another game for somebody. So, hopefully we can get it going, and people don't want to see us walking in with Ottawa on our chest.
All right, well, Coach, we're going to take our first time out. We're going to take a little break here. When we come back, we'll kind of talk about a few other things going on with Ottawa University and getting prepared for the next few games. But you're listening out here at the Primetime Grill, listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
It's the perfect combination of food, fun, and football. The Kent Kessinger Show, Tuesday nights at Primetime Grill. And that combination just got even better, because now you can enjoy the show while you enjoy a blast from the past. Poncho's Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burrito. That's right, Poncho's Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burritos are back, and they're only at Primetime Grill on Tuesdays. Enjoy all of your other menu favorites, the full-service bar, and more at Primetime Grill, 2204 South Princeton Circle Drive. For game time and Poncho's Burritos, it's prime time.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
And we're back with Limu, Emu, and Doug for the final question. Category is things you climb. All right, Limu, what do you think? You sure? We're going with Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Oh, so close. We were looking for stairs. Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
132 conference championships, 146 NAIA scholar teams, 43 NAIA national tournament appearances, and 237 All-Americans. Ottawa University has a long and rich tradition of Braves athletes that continue to compete at the highest level of competition, utilizing state-of-the-art facilities, accomplished coaches, and a spirit that only comes from wearing the black and gold. Push yourself to limits you never imagined as a student athlete at Ottawa University. Visit ottawa.edu/OUKS.
When a nasty cold keeps you up all night, Vicks Nyquil Severe gives you powerful relief from your worst cold and flu symptoms, which changes a night like this into a night like this. That's better. Nyquil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, stuffy head, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold, medicine. Use as directed.
Find it in the cold and flu aisle at a Walmart near you.
We crossed a local business owner with a disc jockey. What did we get? A biz jockey. We invite you to join us on Thursday, January 20th, when local business owners take over our airwaves as biz jockeys. They'll play the music they want, share your news and weather, have a laugh or two. Oh, and they might talk a little about their business. Don't miss your favorite biz jockey coming January 20th, only on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
Get back here at the Primetime Grill. Listening with you for Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk alongside head men's basketball coach for the Braves, Aaron Stephenthal. Coach kind of touched a little bit on Sterling and Tabor, and I like your comment there that you were taking my word for it, and I did look it up. I am correct that it is St. Mary's next week. So, 3 games that you won the first time around. It's been a long time, but, some things have changed for you as well, as far as what's happened over the break, and getting guys different, playing time. You were working on that right before the break, and, continuing to do kind of that same substitution pattern is what I've seen out of you anyway. Where do you think it starts for you as you guys try and, you got 12 more games coming up here in the next, 30-some days is what it seems like. Where does it start for you? Is it, on the defensive end, offensive end? Is it in practice? What do you think it is that's just where it's going to start?
I think it's just got to start with our guys being bought in and just committing to each other and working their tails off. One thing I've learned in my 16 years at Ottawa and 22 years of coaching overall is it does not matter what offense you're running, what defense you're running, how you're guarding ball screens. None of that matters if your team isn't locked in and ready to work their tail off. And our effort has been good in games for the most part. We've not been a very good practice team. We just haven't. And so we're trying to do some different things in practice. We're trying to make it fun. We're trying to make it, super hard on certain days. I mean, we've really tried everything. We're going to go to a different starting lineup tomorrow. And we're going to start kind of our better shooting lineup with Jackson Mallory still at the point, but we'll have Ian Moore and Joe Johnson in the starting lineup, along with Andre Jackson, who's been playing really well, and Tristan Hull. So, so Ty Bland is coming out of the starting lineup, and Ty has done nothing wrong. It's just we got to keep shaking things up and trying new things, and then when we won the conference and went 28-6, we started the same lineup every game, So you got to try new things, and the guys have been really, really receptive to, different guys starting. They've been really receptive to playing different positions. Ian Moore is playing more point guard. We've got Tristan Hull, who's our 5. We've got him out of the 5 spot, and kind of he swapped roles with Andre Jackson. And so, we're just moving guys around, trying to figure out what's best for us, and really, trying to trick these guys into thinking that we're doing something really creative and really, really different and new. We're not. We're just trying to get them to play hard. And, it's not that these guys are lazy or they don't want to. It's just, for some reason we can't get it going on the same night on the same end. Like I said, if we're playing well defensively, we struggle offensively and vice versa. If 1 or 2 guys are really shooting it well, then we've got 2 or 3 guys that can't hit the broadside of a barn. And that's just not how we've been lately. It's not how we were at the beginning of the season. So hopefully we can get both ends going. We can get more than a couple guys going, and we can kind of get trending upwards for the conference tournament.
Absolutely. Not just a couple guys going, because it's a team now, that could have 8 guys could lead you in scoring, and it possibly could be more. I just, picked a number there, on any given night. And I've seen, as you said, Ty Bland has done nothing wrong with just kind of changing it up right now. He's led you in scoring before and had big nights. And, Tristan Hull can grab you a double-double at any moment. Yep. And he was somebody I wanted to touch on a little bit. As, Tristan is really the main newcomer that's getting a lot of minutes, it seems like, this year. And, he wasn't getting those double-doubles early on, still playing well and winning basketball games. Kind of, is it Tristan has kind of found his spot, maybe, gotten more comfortable with the team and things like that? Is that, you think, what's helped Tristan kind of step forward here?
Yeah, for sure. Offensively, I think he's just more comfortable in what we're doing. We're making a concerted effort to throw the ball inside to him more. He's different than kind of the prototypical 5-man we've had in the Mason McDowells and the Kyle Patricks, and even Kobe Johnson when he was playing for us early. Tristan's not a three-point shooter. He's not a guy that's going to stretch the floor that way. He's more of a back-to-the-basket guy. And so we've tried to find some different ways to get him in the post and get him going. And really, with all transfers, it takes him a little while to get comfortable and get going. I think he'll be really good next year. He's more and more comfortable. But what he's really good at is defensively, he's really good. And, we're switching 1 through 5 on ball screens now. So he's guarding a point guard. He's guarding a 3-man. He's obviously guarding his man in the post. So, and we switch him on to another team's point guard, and that guy usually doesn't score. So he's done a really good job of that in trying to pick up our concepts. He's got a really, really good IQ. He's a smart kid in general. And so he's picking up our stuff. Sometimes I think he's maybe a little too emotional, maybe a little too analytical, definitely too hard on himself. But hopefully he'll get, he'll get that confidence going. But he's been a big spark for us. And like you said, he's been either at a double-double or close to a double-double, really for last 6-7 games. And we need that to continue for sure.
And you mentioned his defense, and as just a observer on the outside that I am, watching intently, though, Tristan does a great job. From what I've seen, especially down in the post, he's, not 6'8", 6'9", 6'6", pretty good reach. But he's going up against some guys that have some size over him too, and he's able to kind of almost wall them off to make them, make a 5-foot turnaround as opposed to a 2-foot bunny. And he seems to bring a lot of energy.
Yeah.
He's out there. You said he's the toughest critic on himself, and maybe could relax a little bit that way. But he has been fun to watch, and I'm watching him grow into the program a little bit, and looking forward to watching him more. But again, it's been around for a couple of years now, and you mentioned in the first segment, been playing really well, and he's been, doing more than just scoring the ball well as of late. Andre Jackson, and the versatility that he brings to you, kind of the most positionless player on the court, it seems like, for you. What is it that Andre can do that just, whether he's guarding the 1 or down to the 5?
Yeah, offensively he's really talented. I think he should shoot the 3 more, but he's really good in the post. If you put a smaller guard on him, we're going to post him up and he's going to score. If you got a bigger guy on him, he's going to get him out on the perimeter and drive it. He can shoot the 3. I think he should shoot it more. He's got to score more for us. I mean, honestly, with Perry out, with Jaquan not really playing awesome up to his normal level lately, we need somebody to score the basketball. And so, I kind of challenged Dre to, hey, I need you to be a little bit more selfish, and we're running some more stuff for him. And he's done a really good job of stepping up. But he's our workhorse. He's our toughness guy. He's going to rebound the heck out of the ball. He's going to share the ball. I guarantee you, he is at one point in the season he's led us in scoring, in rebounding, in steals, and assists. I mean, he does it all. And quite frankly, I think he's our best player right now and our most consistent player. So we're going to ride him until he breaks. So hopefully he can play 35 minutes a game for 12 more games. Because that's what we're going to need out of him, and he's willing to do it, step up. He's a great kid, and just lucky to coach him and the rest of these guys. But I can promise you that Andre Jackson is tired after every game because he works his tail off and we play him a lot. So, he'll be tired on that late night bus ride back from Sterling tomorrow. So, hopefully he gets some rest because we got a quick turnaround for Saturday. But it doesn't matter. We're going to play him a ton because we need him to play.
And, there's been a lot of shuffling that you've been doing. Like you said, a couple of years ago, you started the same 5 guys for all 32,
33 out of 34. We started different because of senior night, but everyone else started the same.
And so with the exception of the senior night, and now you've flexed in lineups a lot recently trying to find that rhythm here. You say Ian Moore playing a lot more point guard. Jackson Mallory, who, kind of was a starter there on that team 2 years ago, and the only night he didn't start was that senior night.
Right.
And then now he's, the last couple of years, been a little bit more off the bench, now required to get back in there and or asked to be the starter again, knows kind of the role, but then also, Ian Moore kind of handling some minutes at point guard a little bit more. Ian coming in, what I saw, obviously when he gets that shot work and can absolutely light up the score sheet. But what is some of the other things that Ian Moore does that can get through those minutes when he's at the point and things like that?
Ian is really good at creating, not necessarily for himself, but he'll make the right play. I think he at playing the 2 for us, there's a lot of run to the corner and you kind of wait for your turn to get the ball. So I think he feels more involved at the point guard. It's kind of like, being the catcher in baseball. Like, you get to touch the ball every play. Where if you're the right fielder, you don't get the ball that much. So I think he just feels more involved. He's kind of, I think, renewed his energy a little bit, just playing that point guard role some. And like I said, we're going to have, basically 2 point guards out there starting tomorrow night with Jackson and Ian. And, another kid I'd like to talk about just a little bit that started to play a little bit more is Ryan Tory. Ryan's a KOFO sophomore out of St. Louis for us. Been playing on the varsity reserve all year. Really talented kid. Especially on the offensive end, he can really score. I can't tell you how many buckets he's given our varsity guys in practice when we were going against our varsity reserve. He can absolutely score the ball, and he's really grown a lot as far as running a team. maturing as far as talking and running a team, and he still needs to get better at all that, learn our stuff. Got to be better defensively, but he can give us a spark offensively, and I look for him to get more minutes in this second half of the season as well. So him along with Elijah Mason are kind of our young guys that we're looking to maybe get a few more minutes here as we go, and just give those guys some confidence and have some confidence in them so they can get going.
All right. Well, Coach, obviously, like you said, long bus trip tomorrow as you go out to Sterling, farthest one for you. Good luck with that one. Then the turnaround, as we get into this, kind of the shorter weeks, the short turnaround, Saturday against Tabor at home. Women will start at 5, men will start at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. So tomorrow 6 and 8. So you guys got a late one tomorrow, and then at home on Saturday. So good luck to you. Appreciate you sitting down with me again tonight, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Luke. Appreciate you.
All right. Well, we're going to take another time out. When we come back, we'll be joined by Ottawa University Braves women's head coach, Tarnisha Scott. You're listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
Tired of the same boring burgers from yet another national chain? Break that chain with a visit to Ottawa's locally owned and operated Primetime Grill. What have they got? How about 8 kinds of salad for lunches that are light on calories and loaded with flavor? Maybe you'd like a big, crispy platter of fish and chips. Hot wings? Pork loin. Of course, if you still want that burger, you can choose from 7 mouth-watering options. Primetime Grill. What are you in the mood for?
When a nasty cold keeps you up all night, Vicks Nyquil Severe gives you powerful relief from your worst cold and flu symptoms, which changes a night like this into a night like this. That's better. Nyquil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, stuffy head, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed.
Find it in the cold and flu aisle at a Walmart near you.
Ottawa University has positioned itself as a distinctive and rapidly expanding institution, known for its innovative educational models, exceptional value, and special ability to prepare diverse student populations for lifetimes of enlightened faith, exemplary service, inspired leadership, and personal significance. With numerous undergraduate and graduate degrees in business, education, arts and sciences, athletics, and more, you'll gain the specific expertise you need for a lifetime of significance and prosperity. Find out more by visiting ottawa.edu/OUKS.
KOFO Radio in Ottawa is looking for just the right person to join our marketing department. The right person might have a background in business-to-business sales, will be outgoing, upbeat, a team player, and eager to learn. We'll give you the time-tested and proven tools and training to help you be successful. You supply the positive attitude, drive, and hard work. Send your resume to KOFO@KOFO.com or drop it by the KOFO studios at 320 East Radio Road, Ottawa, Kansas, during regular business hours. No phone calls, please. KOFO is an equal opportunity employer.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
And Doug.
And we're back with Limu, Emu, and Doug for the final question. Category is things you climb. All right, Limu, what do you think? You sure? We're going with Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Oh, so close. We were looking for stairs. Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's easy when the calendar says winter for your mind to wander to warmer days ahead, like spring. And when your mind wanders to spring, what do you think of? Yeah, us too. The KOFO Home Base Home and Garden Expo is back this spring, March 5th and 6th at the ORC Goppert Building in Ottawa. Booth space for vendors is available now, but will fill up fast. So if your business is all about home, garden, or anything else that says spring, call KOFO today at 785-242-1220 or email sales@KOFO.com. With hundreds of your potential customers visiting the KOFO Home Base Home and Garden Expo over 2 days, March 5th and 6th, you can't afford to miss out. It's your booth to do with what you want, and advertising to tell your story to those who need to hear it and need what you've got to offer. Call today, 785-242-1220, or email sales@KOFO.com. We're looking forward to seeing you again in the beautiful confines of the ORC Goppert Building, March 5th and 6th at the KOFO Home Base Home and Garden Expo. Reserve your booth today.
Welcome back here to Primetime Grill. Luke Queen with you here for Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. And joining me now in our next segment is Braves women's head coach Tarnisha Scott. And Coach, it's been a while now, but as we were talking before we came on, it's been a while since the girls have played until Monday. And to say I was impressed would be an understatement. You know, Southwestern, a team is struggling this year, but it doesn't matter in the KCAC. You got to show up, you got to play, and you know, to say your team did that from the tip was it's just the way it is. A big win. It ended up 70-42, but you know, it was I believe 10 points at halftime is all you had allowed, and we talked, I remember last semester you saying, you know, you kind of have a goal for your team per quarter, and you met that in the half.
We did. You know, like you said, Southwestern has been struggling, but, I mean, I think they have a great coach in Brittany. I think she's going to be fine. You know, I respect her time. But I was just impressed, like, after not playing for almost a month, you know, I was just impressed that we were able to even come out and execute on a lot of things that we've been talking about in practice, because it's just kind of hard to really simulate that stuff in practice and then go out in the game and really execute. So, and especially with us having a young group, extremely proud of those girls for just going out and executing the game plan and really buying into defense. And as we said the last time I was here, we have to buy into defense. We just have to, you know. And especially, I know we haven't gotten there yet, but getting ready to go play Sterling tomorrow, you don't beat them by trying to just, we're going to score more points with you. You know, you better get stops. You know, you have to figure out how to get your stops and put some runs together when you're playing a team that great. So.
Well, and you know, that's why I want to kind of say before, because we're going to talk about what you got coming up, because like you said, it's you kind of have a tough start on the second go around, just as you did on the first time. I mentioned it to Coach Steve how it's kind of strange. You just play everybody in order, and then you turn around and you do it once again. At least that's how it's scheduled. You know, so you know, we're going to get to see a team you haven't seen in. Since you're freshmen, we're definitely still freshmen. But you know, some of the things that I really, you know, I couldn't be there the other night, but yes, I had it on my phone and was watching it really closely. And you know, it seemed like, I don't know if it was just the focus was we're going to start out and we're going to go underneath and get it down low. But you know, Kenesha Payne almost had a double-double by the end of the first half. You know, and then everybody else kind of seemed to get involved. It was down there, and then the shots got open a little bit further away from the basket. But it was also, as you've always preached to me, it started on the defensive end. And you did not give Southwestern many good looks through the first, you know, 15 to 20 minutes of that ball game. You know, the freshman, with Liz last week, she said that one of your quotes over the break was that you're no longer a freshman on the basketball court. And it kind of looked like that from what I saw on Monday. Is you know, those younger players are, you know, growing and have kind of caught up to the game and seem like they're ready to maybe make a little run here as we get ready towards the second half. But you know, it seemed like it was such a team effort Monday. I don't really. Kenesha had, you know, when you have somebody that almost has double-double in the first half, you point it out, but, you know, it seemed like it was everywhere. It wasn't anybody that you know, it was just everybody, and I know when you get such a big lead, it is, you know, it's hard to stay that focused for 40 minutes, especially when you have such a big lead, but you still, anytime you give up 42 points in a 40-minute basketball game is a pretty impressive feat.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we talk about defense, you know. We talk about defense and we talk about being good, right? And as you just pointed out, usually it's really, really tough to kind of get a team to stay focused, you know, in the duration of a game when it starts like that. But we have to be disciplined. Like, I'm coaching them the same way. It doesn't matter what the score is, right? Like, we still have to go out and execute things that we talk about every single day in practice. And we still have to uphold that standard. I think that's what we can really separate yourself from trying to be a really top team in this conference. You know, is to be consistent. Because if you can't maintain a 40-minute basketball game, how are you going to do that over the course of the season? We play such a long season. You know what I mean? So consistency is key. Just being disciplined. And as you know, coming out in that first half, we played those freshmen a lot, you know, more than a lot of people I'm sure expected, but I knew coming into it, and I think we talked about this, is that we were fortunate enough to get some pretty good freshmen just with everyone getting this extra year, right? Freshmen that maybe would have went to school or maybe could have went the JUCO route. There was just nowhere for them to go, really, you know? So we just kind of got blessed on that end, but I told these freshmen, I said, look, y'all played a lot of minutes that first half, you know, more than most freshmen play. It's time to grow up, you know, whether we're going to spend time in the film room watching different things, but to their point, they're a bunch of hard-working young ladies, you know. I talked to them over the break, they're, coach, I'm going to the gym, I'm leaving the gym. You know, they're working on their game when they're not in practice. I think that's really what you're seeing. You know, I don't want to take credit for that, but they went home over the break. You know, we were gone for almost 2 weeks, and they worked, you know. They didn't just go sit up and watch Christmas movies or whatever, like, they actually got in the gym, so much credit to them for that. And I think that I've seen the game starting to go down for them. So they've been out there so much. So they're able to make better reads, trying to understand how tough the KCAC is, you know. And it's pretty good to watch, but we're going to play one game, so you know, I'm just hoping that we can sustain that, you know, as we continue to play this game remaining.
Well, you know, you got a young team. But you do have some good leadership from the returners from last year. You know, when, you know, Liz Vaughn, Kanisha Payne, Jaleesa Simon, you know, I could just name everybody that was around last year. I can see them supporting their teammates no matter, you know, if they're out on the floor and they need, you know, just a pat on the back or a pick-me-up. You know, I can see those upperclassmen doing that type of stuff too. And, you know, these freshmen are really a very talented group, and you know, I just say Liz pointed that out to you know just to kind of say you know about how the future is looking good with this group coming in. You know, you go on the road tomorrow and play number 10 in the country this week. Okay, I thought I had caught that right, and then suddenly my mind told me they were number 9, but number 10. Okay, Sterling.
9, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you get up there, it could just be a week-to-week thing. But you know, a high quality program. They've been up at the top of the KCAC for a few years now, and really they've been a ranked team in the nation now for a few years. You know, and they've got a strong core that has been around for a few years. You know, is it just the maturity of your group into being ready to maybe play with them, even though I was at that game, you said November 17th, I knew mid-November there. Yeah. I was at that game watching this, and you gave Sterling all they wanted for quite a while, and then kind of that, what it appeared to me was maybe that was a little bit of that experience came through for Sterling in those last 6-7 minutes. You know, I don't know if it seemed like it wasn't much more than they hit some free throws late to maybe make it a 7 or 8 point ball game, but you were right there with them, and I don't think they were quite ready for it, but maybe it wasn't they were quite ready for the athleticism of some of your you know, some of the girls that are out there this year that are freshmen too.
I mean, like you said, Sterling, I mean, they're a veteran team. You know, I mean, they have a lot of kids that have been in the program, they've been there, and I mean, they're just so efficient, you know, in so many different areas of the game. You know, they're going to try to get the ball out quick and get quick layups and things like that in transition. But they're trying to play fast, right? And with that playing fast, when they average 85 points a game, it's a lot of points. But in order to score those points, they know a lot of possessions. They do a good job with increasing the number of possessions by playing so fast, you know. So I think we have to figure out a way to slow them down, you know, and limit those possessions, you know, whether it's rebounding or slowing them down and not being forced to set tempo, but still playing in a space where we can be efficient as well. So I think that we definitely have to do that, and of course it's going to start with defense, you know. because you can't let them. I mean, they can't shoot wide open later in transition, right? And then if you recall from that game, it's kind of like every time we make a run, they come too late, you know, and that's just very difficult to kind of withstand throughout the duration of the game. You're giving a play of that 48 points in the game, you know. So those are things that we got to kind of key in on and make them take more difficult shots. I don't think got a lot of teams, you know, 30 points from the free throw line. I mean, that's a good stuff, right? So that's a lot of points. So we just got to do a better job, you know, defensively of containing the basketball without fouling, and getting back in position, trying to slow it down a little bit.
And it'll definitely be a tough matchup here at their place too. And you know, it's always tough to go on the road in the KCAC, and here we are turning it over after 12 games and going to start another 12, and you got to go to the a top 10 ranked team to do it. So, well, when we come back, we're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we're going to kind of talk about a little bit more, you know, kind of a little bit more as to what's up for the rest of the season, and then even a little bit more maybe what's coming into maybe this coming off season, which might be a little bit different for you once again. So we'll be back with Ottawa University Braves women's head coach Tarnisha Scott after this from Ottawa Braves Soup Talk here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
It's the perfect combination of food, fun, and football. The Kent Kessinger Show, Tuesday nights at Primetime Grill. And that combination just got even better, because now you can enjoy the show while you enjoy a blast from the past. Poncho Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burrito. That's right, Poncho Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burritos are back, and they're only at Primetime Grill on Tuesdays. Enjoy all of your other menu favorites, the full-service bar, and more at Primetime Grill, 2204 South Princeton Circle Drive. For game time and Poncho's Burritos, it's prime time.
Do you have taxiety? That uncertain feeling before doing your taxes? Filing on your own or choosing the wrong partner can be stressful. Connect with Liberty Tax and then just breathe in and cash out.
Pay no out-of-pocket expenses.
Sounds like a mantra.
Visit StopTaxiety.com to schedule your appointment and say farewell to the stress of tax season. Liberty Tax. Let's end taxiety. At participating locations, terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
132 conference championships, 146 NAIA scholar teams, 43 NAIA national tournament appearances, and 237 All-Americans. Ottawa University has a long and rich tradition of Braves athletes that continue to compete at the highest level of competition, utilizing state-of-the-art facilities, accomplished coaches, and a spirit that only comes from wearing the black and gold. Push yourself to limits you never imagined as a student athlete at Ottawa University. Visit ottawa.edu/OUKS.
Exergen wants you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate, and they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. With new strains of COVID on the rise, we can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
We crossed a local business owner with a disc jockey. What did we get? A biz jockey. We invite you to join us on Thursday, January 20th, when local business owners take over our airwaves as biz jockeys. They'll play the music they want, share your news and weather, have a laugh or two. Oh, and they might talk a little about their business. Don't miss your favorite biz jockey coming January 20th, only on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO. It's a new year with new opportunities. But before we get to them, we owe you a debt of gratitude for making 2021 the best it could be. Thanks to your generosity, you helped us raise over $10,000 during our Cancer Awareness Telethon and donated huge amounts of non-perishable food items during our Thanks for Giving campaign that Hope House and ECAN delivered to many needy families this holiday season. We had some fun along the way, watching you search for the Lucky Shamrock, and we hope you enjoyed cheering on your favorite local team and your Kansas City Royals. And we continue to be amazed year after year at the tenacity you have in trying to win a turkey. We want you to know that it's going to get even better in 2022 with new promotions for you to enjoy. More local news, weather, and sports coverage than you'll get anywhere else, all while we share the good that is where we live with you in East Central Kansas. It's who we are and what we do. Happy New Year from 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
And back here once again out at Primetime Grill here at South Ottawa, Fusion Lanes, and Luke Queen with you here for Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. And one more segment here tonight with head coach of the women, Darnisha Scott, and we've talked about the upcoming game in Sterling, but here it was that you didn't play until Monday for almost a month, and you go right into a 3 games in 6-day week. Which is just a crazy schedule maker. We talked about that. You don't have to. I can take the blame for that one.
Happy or something. I don't know. I'm not talking to the right people.
Whoever made that decided you guys, Ottawa would get the bye in the final Saturday of the first round. Doesn't make. Yeah, it would have been better to have Wednesday off instead of Saturday. But the girls came out and. It was so much fun to watch them play on Monday, but you hadn't played in a long time, and now you get a short turnaround with 3 games in the 6 days. Sterling tomorrow, then you go and Tabor comes to town. Tabor's a very solid team up towards the those top few spots in the KCAC as well. Kind of got a tough go at it here, turning around, but. We talked just a little bit early about, those freshmen kind of getting over those freshman mistakes, catching up to the speed of the game, where you're kind of sitting right now in the conference, going to take some wins to get into the conference tournament. You think this is kind of the time of year last year where it started, progressing forward too in your first year and the team getting, kind of coming together. You expect those freshmen to kind of keep moving forward and maybe a couple of those tighter ball games, maybe that goes your way because of the way the freshmen are maturing?
Yeah, I think that the experience of the freshmen will definitely help. But I love our freshmen. I think they're very talented, but I'm a firm believer that if we don't get some of those seniors to step up, it's still going to be tough for us, because we have seniors that played a lot of minutes in this conference, and Liz Burns, Lisa Thomas, Keith Shane, they played a lot of minutes already. Amir Lowe, So if we can get the seniors to be more consistent, that leaves a lot of room for the freshmen to add on, right, and do what they do and complement them very well. So I think that's really what we need. I think that if we get a lot of good consistency this half out of Tanisha and out of Liz, I think that we're going to be just fine, and I think that we can make that run for the tournament, But what we're talking about right now is like 1 game at a time. And we got to go in and we got to try to get every single game. We don't want to leave anything on the table, And at the end of this, if we go out and we lay it all out and we play our best basketball, and we come up short, then you live with that. But you don't want to have regrets at the end of this thing, So that's just more what we're talking about. But I think that if we get those seniors with their leadership experience, and just having played in the KCAC to be consistent for us, I think it should be fine.
Well, looking forward to the next 12-game stretch, absolutely, as a fan and as a supporter to see the continued growth there. But, kind of using that word growth, lead me in here on my transition is I kind of want to finish up tonight. You came in, we talked about it last year, we talked about it in the fall, in a rather challenging situation, recruiting basically all online and all on your phone. Maybe a little bit more open last year, maybe a little bit, when you knock on wood that can continue to be the case. See you've already got a couple commits for next year, which, is always great to get those early ones in and to know you got girls committed to coming into the program. What is it like, this recruiting has just been so crazy these last couple of years, continues to be. Now these super seniors that are going to be moving on their way out, maybe open some things up, and there's going to be a lot more seniors in high school getting recruited now. What are you trying to do to kind of get them committed to, going 4 years at Ottawa as opposed to trying the JUCO route first, or are you hitting the JUCOs as well to try and get some players out of there?
Yeah, I mean, with this strong, like you kind of said it, right? Like, with this strong freshman class that we have right now, we do want to try to add a few experienced players and play at the pro level. But what I also think is that our freshmen will continue to get better, right? So as you've seen, like you talked about our early commits, all those kids are freshmen. You know, the early commits are freshmen right now, and a few of them are pretty good freshmen, you know. So I'm excited about that, you know. Get them here and get them playing with our girls. But I think as we're kind of in this thought, like you said, of the seniors, we're still going to have a run of really good freshman kids coming out of high school. So we've been talking to a lot of different freshmen, but we do want to sprinkle in a little experience, you know, especially in some key positions, you know. Right now, I think that we've been recruiting shooters pretty hard in that position, and then obviously post players. You know, we got to get some more post players this year. So we definitely want to bring in an experienced post. But then we're going to be blessed to have Quincy Payne again next year. So I mean, that's going to be huge for us, you know. But as far as recruiting, man, it's been up and down. Sometimes you can go out, you know. Sometimes the moves at the places change all the time. And just when you think you're kind of moving on with COVID, it comes back in a different wave, and then you kind of shut down, and you can't go as many places as you hope. But we're trying to be out as much as possible between our staff. We got people out every week, you know, going to games, and we're fortunate enough to be in Kansas. You know, the gym coach we have here, so I mean, we're trying to get out to the junior colleges as well as the high schools, but. Listen, we'll recruit anyone who's a good fit for our program.
And it's like you said, the Jayhawk Conference with the junior colleges in the state of Kansas has always produced some exceptional ball players and good student athletes. And, you know, you're looking for those things to come into your program, continue to, you know, progress. This is, you know, it has been just kind of the strangest time to become a head coach. You know, looking out at it, and you know, but you know, you got a great freshman class that is coming. You know, or what I could see as a great freshman class. I think there's a lot of talent, and they're a lot of fun to watch play ball. And as they continue to grow, and the seniors, you know, like you said, get some more, even more consistency out of them. You know, really make a run here. Coach Stevens always talking about kind of setting the goal, you know, 8-4, 9-3, kind of the way they're looking at it. Where then again, he didn't even realize that St. Mary's was the third game next week. You know, when he just looked at what he's got in the next two games before, you know, between now and Saturday. So you know, I love how you guys as coaches you think you know, one way and talk the other way to me, but it's so much fun. It was, you know, and so I obviously want to finish up with saying, you know, good luck tomorrow night. It's going to be a very difficult game, but a game that I think the team, you know, is probably ready for it, especially they love to play basketball, and they didn't get to for almost an entire calendar month, and I think they're ready to get back out there and get to work. You know, it's at Sterling tomorrow, 5 o'clock, tomorrow's 6 o'clock at Sterling. You can listen to that game on KOFO. Casey Weeder will be on the call. Then Saturday, inside Wilson Fieldhouse, the David Blue Jays will be in town, and that game does start at 5 o'clock. So, Coach, good luck to you this week. Appreciate you joining me once again. Look forward to talking to you again soon. And appreciate Larson back in the studio producing the effort, and everybody listening out there on the airwaves.
Your only source for information, sports, and entertainment in East Central Kansas.
KOFO 1220 and 103.7 FM.